I'm sure you've been told that buying expired domain names is a great business opportunity, right? Well, it is, except that it's usually said by these scammy product vendors who say that they have the latest and best way to make you hundreds of dollars per day. They try to sell you a product that finds them for you. But then what? You're left with all these domain names, many of which are no good and can just hurt your business. Hi, I'm Suzanne Stoddard of Legitimate Affiliate Training, and I'd like to explain to you why these products are useless and what's really involved in buying expired domain names as a business model. And if you like my video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. Wouldn't you rather learn how to build a long-term and sustainable business? Click on my link below for free and actionable training. Okay, let's get into this. Buying expired domain names is much more complicated than what you've been told. And I want you to be aware of the process before you're hit up with the next product promotion. Products like these come available from time to time, and they look enticing. They're another shiny object that grabs your attention and gives you hope of creating riches. If you're wondering what shiny object syndrome is, check out my video. I'll leave the link for you below. So what is an expired domain name? Well, if we look at Digital Guide, it gives you a pretty good definition right here. Basically, an expired domain name is a name that has existed and hasn't been renewed by the owner for whatever reason. He may have chosen not to renew, or he may have simply forgot to. Anyone who's shown interest in purchasing that name is informed, and when it comes up for sale, it's auctioned off to the highest bidder. If no one buys it, it's entered back into the registry and resold like any other domain. But as you can see here, why buying any old domain could be dangerous without the proper research. You'll be told that buying these domains will give you all the many backlinks it would have acquired, giving you more authority and siphoning off traffic it may be getting. But there's so much more to the process than that. In fact, some SEO experts consider this to be a huge gray or black hat technique to manipulate your search engine rankings. So the big question is, do you want to take the risk? Do you have a gambler's mentality? Because there's no guarantee it'll work. So let's look at what a domain footprint is. Every domain has a footprint. There are most likely articles, videos, landing pages, podcasts, backlinks, and traffic, etc. And you're most likely looking to improve your SEO with its links and traffic, right? Therefore, when you buy an expired domain, you need to put a redirect to your own lead pages, opt-ins, and offers if you want to take advantage of that traffic. When you buy a domain, you own all the links to it that are out there. But now think about this for a minute, as this is what one of those low-quality shiny object products that claim it can do to make you rich. So let's say a product will scan YouTube for broken links, which usually means the owner no longer is using his channel or has abandoned it. The owner of the videos could be gone, but the videos are still there, for now. All the links in the description below are yours, for now. But here lies the problem. First of all, how well do you know the niche? This is important because now you have to ensure that the content is up to date and reliable. Yep. So if it has a few hundred videos, you need to watch each one to make sure they're usable. Are they current? Are they honest? Do they promote anything illegal? The next thing to look for is traffic. Are they getting any? And is this the kind of traffic you're looking for? And lastly, you may now own the domain name and the links, but you don't own the videos. At any time, the owner himself could delete all those videos and you're left with nothing. So that was a YouTube scenario. Maybe you're just looking at boosting your website's authority and SEO. So let's take a look at the benefits of buying expired domain names. You can leverage additional traffic. Many old websites could have the kind of traffic your business needs. I mean, after all, any successful online business needs traffic, right? But if you're just starting out, it can take months to years to grow a significant traffic amount to your site. If you find a domain name with existing traffic relevant to your niche, simply use 301 redirects and send that traffic to your main site. This is like forwarding your mail to your new address when you move. The existing traffic is sent to your new site, and this happens so quickly that your visitor doesn't even realize it. There are more complicated ways to leverage traffic, from creating microsites to running the older site individually. These are much more time-consuming, and unless it's targeting the exact same keywords, it's probably not worth it. Aged domains rank better. The older the domain, the better, and older sites are usually higher quality with better SEO practices. According to Ahrefs, top ranking pages can take 2 or 3 years to rank, and the number 1 position is almost 3 years old on average. So directing an older domain can really help boost a newer site. Backlinks for SEO juice. If an expired domain was owned by someone who wanted high ranking, chances are it has acquired authority backlinks. And fourth, they have established PageRank. This is Google's system of ranking pages. The higher the page rank, the higher the position in search. Your page rank is determined by the number of quality backlinks you have. Okay, so now let's look at the pitfalls. You inherit the penalties. If the domain you bought has a poor history, Google could de-index or blacklist your site for these reasons. It could have duplicate content, keyword stuffing, overusing an anchor text, manipulating rankings using black hat strategies, if it was a porn site, or your site was hacked, or if it has malicious backlinks. Another thing is that your traffic may not be quality. Just because it has a lot of traffic doesn't mean it's good traffic. If you dig deeper, you may find out that the traffic is mostly spam bots. I found a great case study article outline for you to look at. He looked for what he thought was a really good domain name, and he set it up, and this is the results he got. Look at this big spike in traffic. Now, he says this was organic traffic. It could also be from spam bots. Usually when you see such a spike like that, it is spam. But after that initial boost in traffic, notice how everything dropped right off. Here's another graph where he saw a lot of impressions in this time period, and then it just dropped right off. So you see, he didn't get the traffic he desired. He admits this isn't a true scientific experiment, but it certainly wasn't what he expected when redirecting an old domain name to his business. I'll leave the link for this below, okay? Another thing is that your bounce rate could increase. If the domain name you buy isn't highly relevant to your business, you could attract irrelevant traffic. For example, if you're an internet service provider and the name viagraphics.net comes available, which is an actual name, by the way. See, I looked it up under a Whois site, and it is registered. It was registered in '97, still up to date. Now, what do you think could happen? It's meant to be viagraphics.net, right? But people could very easily read this as viagrafix.net. So I'm thinking that some of your visitors could be quite different than those looking for an internet provider. Another pitfall is wasting time and money on bidding wars. If you happen to find an attractive name, you can count on others wanting it as well. This drives up the price of the domain, and if you let your emotions get in the way, you may very well end up paying more than what the domain is worth. And lastly, you could have tough niche competition. Are you knowledgeable in the niche you chose? Have you determined what type of competition you have? If the domain is ranking for specific keywords that are monopolized by big brands, you'll have little chance of competing for those keywords. Okay, so now you're wondering how to find out all this information, right? Let's take a look at what you should check before buying any expired domain name. The great thing is that there are many free tools you can use. If you're doing this as a business though, you should probably pay for a reputable service that can do domain name in batches and give you more in-depth reports. So let's take a look at this checklist. The first thing you want to do is check the domain history. This is actually quite easy to do. I'm going to use this website here, Tim Hortons. I mean, after all, I'm Canadian. Okay, so the best way to check domain history is to use a site called Wayback Machine. So what you do is type in the URL that you want, and notice that all of these little black lines you see, these are all different times that it took a snapshot of this website. So let's go to 2013 and look at one of these snapshots. And this is what the site looked like at that time. So you can go through and you can check out the website and check for things like, did it use porn or did it have a lot of spam on it? This is a great way to check to make sure that the site was what you expected and you're not going to get any surprises about its history. Another site you can check is a Whois site. This particular one is whois.com. And if you type in the URL that you want to check, this gives you a lot of details about the IP addresses that were associated with it. Okay, and lots of other information that you would need to see if it was a legitimate site. Now, what about if you want to check if it's blacklisted? A great tool you can use for this is called MX Toolbox. You put in the URL you want to check, and then click on Blacklist, and here we go. It shows you all the different lists that it could be potentially flagged on. Okay, and this site shows that everything is okay. So that's a great way to make sure that your site is safe. Another thing you want to check out is your domain and page authority. Those are referred to as DA for domain authority, PA for page authority. And you can look this up by simply installing the Moz bar. Here's the Moz site. You can add this extension to your Google Chrome browser, and it'll tell you the DA and PA for any site you're on. So let's go back to Tim Hortons, and I have it on my browser here, and see how it shows up. The page authority is 44, the domain authority is 60, and that's good because basically these things are ranked from 1 to 100, and the higher the score, the easier it is to rank. The next thing you want to check is the backlink profile. You'll want to make sure that there are no malicious backlinks going to your site. And you can do this by using Ahrefs backlink checker. So again, paste in your URL and check for backlinks. Okay, I'll get rid of the Moz bar. And there you go. There's your profile. It's got a great rating. It's got a lot of backlinks, referring domains. There's a lot of information for you to go through. And you want to check all of these links, okay? Like the higher the number, the better. Every now and again, you'll come across one that has a low rating. But again, check on that. Make sure that it's good. Every now and again, you might hit some spam, and then you'll want to make sure that you delete those. Another thing you want to check is if you have organic traffic. You want to make sure that your traffic is from real people and not spiders or bots. And you can do this by using your Google Analytics account. Now this is my account, okay? And you can see where a lot of my traffic here, the dark blue, is organic. Okay, there's some direct, some referral, some from social media, but the bulk of it is organic. So that's a good thing. And another thing you want to make sure is that your traffic is fairly nice and steady, hopefully on an upward trend. Mine isn't here. But if you see a sudden spike in your traffic, it usually means that that was spam or from traffic bots, okay? Or in the case of Tim Hortons, if there was a sudden spike in, let's say, the month of April, that could be due to a special occasion like their Roll Up the Rim campaign. You might see spikes from that. So you have to determine if it's a reasonable spike or it could be just spam. Another thing for you to look at is the page speed. How fast does the site load? If it's slow, it affects user experience as well as the SEO. Page speed is one of Google's ranking factors. There are many free sites online you can use to measure your domain's performance. And here is one called Google Page Speed Insights. So again, if we enter the domain we're looking at, this is what it'll pull up for you. Now in this case, the page speed isn't very good for this site. Okay, it gives you lots of data, and if you're a techie type person, you will love all of this data you get. But basically, you want to see things in the green as much as possible for the page speed. So if you decide it's worth the risk to buy expired domain names, then make sure you do it properly. I found an article for you here by Matthew Woodward, who talks about finding expired domain names, and he gives you a step-by-step tutorial here. And he shows you the tools that he uses himself. Okay, I'll leave the link for this article for you below. So the next big question is, how do you fix all the problems you find? Well, that's the issue, isn't it? It's a steep learning curve to use this method. Now you know how to check the domain names, but how do you fix the issues? This takes more research and possibly paid services to correct them. So my recommendation is that whenever you see a promotion claiming that you can legally hijack something, run away. It may sound sexy, but when they try to tell you that it's legal, it rarely isn't. You're leaving yourself open to lawsuits. For instance, what if you bought the name linked to a YouTube channel and lucky for you, you were able to make loads of money? Well, now what happens if the owner of the videos on that channel found out and sued you for that money? That's just one scenario. I'm not saying I know the owner's legal rights here, but it's something to think about. Also, these software products could find you many expired names and you end up buying, let's say, 10 a day in hopes of making money. Well, guess what? All these domains will come up for renewal in a year. And at an average of $15 per domain, that's hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on how many you bought. Also, are you an organized person? You will need a system to track all these domains to help you determine if they've been profitable for you or not. Maybe you should let them go. Wow, that sounds like a nightmare, right? And of course, these scammy product creators won't help you with that. They're just looking for your money. If this is a business you're seriously looking into, then you need to invest in the right tools and the proper software to help you out. A cheap $10 to $20 product with loads of upsells isn't what you need. So thanks so much for watching my video to the end. If you found value in it, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to learn how to build your own online business for free, then click out my link below and get the best training that you'll find online. You'll get access to excellent training and get to meet my wonderful mentor at the same time. So until next time, cheers!